Hello, my friends. I want to talk today about how the brain works, how trauma works, and how so many things in our life are affected by those two things. We have, as humans, we always have something going on in the background. It's usually a programming in our brain. So how the brain works is there's two different levels of the brain. You have the conscious brain and you have the subconscious brain. The conscious brain does about 2,000 thought processes a second. That's pretty amazing. The subconscious brain does about 10 times to 100 times that, depending on different studies what you look at. So that's 20,000 to 200,000 times the amount of things. So your subconscious brain is doing things that your subconscious brain is not even aware of. And it's constantly doing them. And you think about it, the subconscious brain is what keeps you alive. It's what keeps your heart beating, keeps you breathing while you are watching crap on Facebook or watching stuff on YouTube. It keeps you doing the things that you need to do to keep you alive. And that's its primary purpose. But the subconscious brain also processes data. So when you look at something at any given time, your conscious brain, you can think about 2,000 things at a time. And I know you women say men don't think that many and you think more. And you're probably right. But that's okay. Different subject. But what it comes down to it is there's only so much data that you can consciously think about at a given time. But your subconscious brain will absorb all of that other data. And it will absorb it and file it away in a gee-whiz file for whatever. Now, what happens when we have a traumatic experience is our subconscious brain goes, ooh, I don't like that. And it starts to try and protect us from that trauma. And that's a good thing. It's a fight or flight or freeze instinct, which keeps us alive. When a tiger attacked us when we were in a primitive man state, that kept us alive. And then the next time we heard or smelt the tiger, our subconscious brain went, oh my gosh, that's an alarm signal, and triggered those kinds of things. Now, in modern society, we don't have tigers attacking us. We don't have things like that happening all the time. Now, there's plenty of situations in modern society where people get traumatized. And honestly, trauma can come from anything. You don't need to watch your friend get blown up to be able to have trauma, like many of our veterans do. You don't have to have that. And that is an extreme trauma that is very difficult. And by the way, if you're a vet, I want to help. You are a part of why we are doing this. Absolutely why we are doing this. Because I want you to have a regular life. I want you to be able to choose your life. And this goes for anybody who's experienced trauma. Now, so the great thing about trauma is, and the subconscious brain, is it goes, anytime it detects trauma, it goes into fight or flight, right? So you start running away from problems. You start freezing from problems. Fight or flight or freeze, right? Or you start running from it. You start fighting it. You start doing all those kinds of things. Because once again, the subconscious brain is designed to keep you alive. That's its whole purpose. Why it exists is to keep you alive, keep your heart beating every second, to keep you breathing, to keep you moving, to processing food. Everything like that is in the subconscious realm. But also in the subconscious realm is the things to keep you alive emotionally. So when we have trauma, and guess what? We all have trauma. We all have been traumatized in certain ways that has programmed our subconscious brain. Just take that aside and say, okay, what am I doing with my trauma? Because we all have trauma. So when we look at that and you say, okay, this trauma made me feel this way, and my subconscious brain goes, that wasn't fun, and it wants to change that, and so that you never have to experience that again. And that's so nice of it to do that. But what happens if all of a sudden, you're dealing with what the brain, your subconscious brain perceives as trauma, and it's not a traumatic experience, and it puts you into a fight or flight or freeze situation? Guess what? All of a sudden, you're now operating out of a trauma response, and you are not rationally deciding for yourself how you want to be there. So thank you so much, subconscious brain. I appreciate what you're doing, but guess what? I don't need your input at this point. Me being at a stoplight does not mean I need to be triggered by that guy in front of me or whatever it is. And so this is a perfect example. And my mom, I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm going to use my mom as an example of this. My mom was in a car wreck once. And she was in a car wreck where she was rear-ended, and it damaged her car. And she got a little bit of whiplash, but overall, she was okay, right? But this event was so singular, and it ruined her car, and it caused so much problem to her, that what ended up happening is she got traumatized by that, like anyone does. Being in a car wreck is definitely something that can cause trauma, right? And so what ended up happening is she recovered from the whiplash, but she couldn't get back in the car. She was terrified to get back in the car. Getting back in the car caused extreme not wanting to be there, anxiety, and running away. She wanted to fly, right? Fly away. And so her subconscious brain's like, no, cars are traumatic. If you get in a car, you're going to get in a plane, you're going to get wrecked, you're going to die. And so it created all this anxiety and all this stuff where she couldn't get into a car. Now, luckily, I have a superhero friend named Anthony. And what Anthony does is he just clears trauma. He helps people, and he helps people reprogram their brain so that the trauma doesn't affect them anymore. And he reprograms the trauma into something more positive and something more empowering in their life. And so when people come to Anthony with trauma, even extreme trauma, like extreme PTSD from war and things like that, or in my case, my sexual abuse as a child, or watching my wife go through cancer treatments and all of those kinds of things, right? Whatever the trauma is, he helps people through his, what I call magic Sai Chi, and helps them clear that trauma. So my mom did that. She went to Anthony because she knows about Anthony and Anthony's magic, and Anthony helped her clear that trauma. And now she can get in a car like every other human being. But for a while there after that car wreck, she couldn't get in a car. And you can see how not getting in a car is not from the subconscious brain of, oh yeah, cars kill people, you were in a car wreck, see there, it's going to happen. From that logic, that's good. It's good logic. If you never get in a car, you'll never get in a car wreck. But you can also see from the perspective of living your day-to-day life, wait, I want to be in a car because I want to go experience things. And cars create freedom, and cars create travel, and cars create the ability for my mom to come see her grandkids, right? Which is one of her favorite things to do, to see her grandkids wherever they are, right? So from that perspective, the subconscious brain was helping her, but it wasn't serving her higher good, right? So this is what I talk about when we need to clear the trauma. Because here's the thing, every single one of us has trauma. We just need to get over that. Trauma is part of living mortality. Trauma is part of living on this rock. Now, some of us have extreme trauma. We have childhood trauma. We have even past life trauma, DNA trauma. Some of us have actually had the experience to go over and experience war and have trauma. Some of us have been car wrecks. Some of us have just been in a bad gym class and were picked on by all the kids, and that created trauma. I don't care what the trauma is, but what I do care about is when the trauma doesn't serve us anymore. When the trauma is no longer helping us decide what we really came to this rock to do, and it's stopping us from being who we really want to be. And every single one of us, I don't care who you are, has experienced trauma and had that period of time where that trauma stopped you from being who you are. And I want to clear that. I want to fix that. I want to clear that again and again and again and again and again, so that you and I can become the best of whatever we decide we want to be. So that's what I talk about, the healing network. My healing network that I am creating, that we are creating right now. And if you're listening to this, you might be part of the network. You might be one of my healers. It's a whole bunch of healers, tens of thousands of healers that clear trauma. And if you're hearing this and you're a healer, you know who you are. And you know what you do. And you know how you can clear that trauma out of the subconscious brain and help those people not be stuck in flight, fight, or freeze, right? That's so amazing. And I want to put you to work. I want to put you to work more so in healing humanity. So this is a call out to all the healers, but it's also a call out to all of you who are experiencing trauma. And guess what? That's every one of you. And it's a call out to say, all right, we're done. We want to clear the trauma so we can be who we came here to be, so we can be who God chose us to be. There's a reason you were on this rock. Whether you believe in God or not, I don't care. But there's a reason you were on this planet at this time with the specific designs you have and the things that you get to do. And if there's anything stopping you from being able to do that, then it's a trauma. It's trauma-based. It's trauma-based resistance. And I want to help you clear that so you can go, you know what? I want to build that rocket ship or whatever that is you want to do. I want to put wells in Africa. I want to feed the homeless. I want to stop homelessness. I want to cure cancer. Whatever it is you have that desire to do. And it might even just be, I want to go traveling. I want to see what it looks like to live on a beach for a month. Whatever it is, I don't care. I want to see you fulfill on that. And what I've learned in my life, in my short 46 years on this rock, is trauma is the number one cause of us not getting what we want. Not because it's not having money, not knowing people, not being born into it. It simply is you have trauma wrapped around your dream, and it's stopping you from getting it. And usually it's your subconscious brain saying, that's scary. Don't do that. I'm sorry. That's one of my dreams right there. I'm going to get me one of those. Bronco. Wow. Sorry. That would be edited out if I had an editor, but I don't have an editor, so it's not getting edited out. But that's very cool. I've never seen one red like that. I love that. Anyways, and see, that's just one dream too. But anyway, yeah, here we go. So if you have trauma and you want to clear that trauma, hit up the comment section. Let's talk. And if you are a healer who wants to help heal trauma and your passion is to heal people in trauma, then let's hit it up too. I have been developing a network to pay the healers so that the people with trauma can show up at the healers, and the healers will not have to worry about being paid. They will get paid by me. I will pay all those 10,000 healers to heal hundreds of thousands of people. And I have a way to perpetuate that into the future, and that is phenomenal. And that's one of the things I'm bringing to the table. So if you're a healer and you want to heal and you don't want to worry about collecting money, I'm your guy. I am your guy. I am building a network to be able to pay you to do what you do best, and that is to heal people from the trauma that is stopping them from living their lives. And if you're somebody who just wants to live your life, you're my guy too. And I want to hear every aspect of what you're doing. I want to hear everything you want to do in life, and I want to help you accomplish that. We have other things we're developing that will develop funds and capital that will be able to create all kinds of venture capital for people who need venture capital. I'm going to create a network of all kinds of business and entrepreneurs who will create a network of advice and mentorship for people who want to do that. And whatever you need is going to be developed in this network as you get to join this network and help other people do the same, which is just a phenomenal thing. We as a people are changing in the very way we do things, and it starts with stupid videos like this. It starts with somebody saying, I really want to help people, or I really want to accomplish that crazy idea that nobody had it. If it's a crazy idea, guess what? It's from God in the universe. If it's all the reasons why it doesn't work, that's a different voice, and that's shutting you down. And let's stop listening to all the realistic, reasonable voices and be a little crazy. Let's be nuts, and let's go change the freaking world. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.